Hello, my name is Faraz Khatib. I'm an associate professor in the CIS department, and I'd like to tell you about our game design concentration, which focuses on simulation and modeling, graphics, AI, real-time processing, game theory, and creating components to facilitate game detection, human-computer interaction, network framework, and AI waypoint systems. But you can read all about this on our website, so today I'd like to show you some of our recent games that our students have created in our courses. This one, for example, our students drew their own art for. Students also made this game, which they called Robo Geo, about a robot trapped in a computer, where the robot has to jump on different computer keys and avoid the computer bugs, which you can see one of the bugs here, and collect batteries so that the robot doesn't lose power. The game incorporates many design elements, such as tutorials to help players learn the game as they play. Another student created an homage to their favorite game as a kid, which was a particularly difficult level in that old game. And so the student made an entire game just out of that difficult level. It was obviously a very retro game, and the student used the same exact graphics, sounds, and music as the original. The student added new elements to make the game even harder than it already was. And this is what would always happen to me whenever I would try immediately crash in the first block. Here's another game conceived and created by one student with even more of a retro feel. This student created all the art as well as the storyline, where the hero is a locksmith, which is already pretty original in my opinion. And Locksmith Baron is a puzzle game where you have to match the key at the top right by hammering the correct teeth on the main key. So if you hammer down on the red third column here, for example, the adjacent red columns will go up as the third one goes down. And you do this to try to match the key on the right, and that's how you can win. So I thought this was pretty original, and I wanted to play this one on my phone personally. But video games sometimes get a bad rep. Hopefully, that should no longer be the case, thanks to a whole new class of games. They're often called games with a purpose, citizen science, scientific discovery games. All these different types of names get thrown around. This is actually a flyer from the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. And I actually want to talk about the game at the very bottom right corner, Fold It, which is the citizen science project that I work on, where players from all around the world collaborate and compete to fold proteins as correctly as possible. Now, I used to have to explain why proteins are so important and why they deserve their own video game, but now I can just show the coronavirus, which is made up of many different proteins. Famously, the spike protein might be the one that you have heard in the news, the one in red here on the CDC image on the right here. And so what we've done in Folded is we've actually put that spike protein in the game that you can see on the left there at the very bottom. That is fixed and cannot move because it's obviously the same exact structure as the real COVID-19 spike protein. But what our players are doing in this game is trying to design a new protein that doesn't exist in nature to try to block the spike protein. And so that's what we've been doing in Fold It for the past year, and we're still plugging away with these coronavirus puzzles, where at this point our goal is not to cure COVID-19, but rather have a pipeline ready for future coronaviruses so that citizen scientists can quickly generate therapeutics if this happens again. Lastly, I have another student who created a game last year for the visually impaired using just 4 computer speakers and a controller. The graphics don't look quite as flashy for obvious reasons. So here's some screenshots from the game side where you can see the different triggers on the map, each with different audio cues to guide the visually impaired player. Now this game requires 4 speakers though to get really the surround sound effect. So I have another student currently working on a 2-speaker game for the visually impaired that also uses haptic feedback where they can feel the controller and get vibration information that way. I want to end by mentioning our new partnership program that started last year between UMass Dartmouth and MassDigi's Summer Innovation Program. MassDigi is the Massachusetts Digital Games Institute. And here's one of our UMass Dartmouth students posting about their paid internship experience at MassDigi last summer. I had no idea how much it would completely change the way I see not only the business of creating, producing, and marketing video games, but the whole of the working environment. So we're very excited about that. Thank you so much. Take care.